Hi everyone, hope you're well. So today we are talking about Rory's 3-month update. I cannot believe that this little chunk who hasn't got his bottoms on properly is 3 months. I'm just gonna, I can't believe he's 3 months. So on paper, month 3, I'm just hoping he's gonna go to sleep. Month 3 has definitely been the hardest. But it hasn't felt the hardest, if that makes sense. So it's been hard because he's been going through, he was poorly, then he was going through a growth spurt, and then like leap number 3, and then I think he's showing signs of teething. So yeah, it just felt like one thing after another for a little bit, and we just had a lot of tears. We had about 10 days of tears for this growth spurt, just for no reason. Like if you picked him up, he wasn't happy. If you put him down, he wasn't happy. Like nothing was making him happy at all. And it just got to the point that like I would just put him down. If there's something I had to do, like wash bottles or make some food or something like that, like he just had to go in the bouncer and I had to let him cry, which was hard because, hang on, because it kind of goes against like my parenting instincts. Like I've always kind of said I wouldn't let my baby cry, like if there was no reason to it. So it was difficult, but also when you know that there's nothing wrong with them, like they're fed, they're changed, they're sat in a bouncer, they're safe, all they want is kind of attention, like they're just, you know, they're just wanting comfort. If you've got things to do, you're just gonna have to let them get on with it, really. So yeah, it was hard, but apart from that, he's been thriving. Obviously, he's putting on, like, he's huge. I don't know what he weighs at the moment. I need to find out. But yeah, he's putting on loads of weight. He's really thriving. Like, he's started to become really interactive. He's got, like, started this habit this week where if he hasn't seen somebody for a couple of days, he's a bit more fussy about being held by them. Let me just turn the heating off because it's boiling. Yeah, he's a little bit more fussy about being held by them. So like, for example, my mum's been on holiday for 2 weeks, and before she went away, like, he adored my mum, and then yesterday when he saw her, when she came back, he was kind of a little bit fussy about it, and then today he's been fine again since he's seen her again. So I think he's become really aware of the people around him. Like, I don't know if his eyesight's like focused a little bit more, or if he's like had like that mental click, because he just kind of seems to want to be around like me and his dad quite a lot. And anybody that's like new, as in he hasn't seen them for a few days, he's a little bit wary of. So yes, I'm kind of hoping he grows out of that. What else? He does this thing where he's done this since about 6 weeks, but I've never really spoken about it, I don't know why, where if you stick your tongue out at him, he'll do it back. He also, if you go ooh, he'll go ooh back. And he started to like really communicate. So if you talk to him, he'll try and mimic what you're saying. So if you say hello, he'll go like, oh, like, yeah. He started to kind of like become really interactive, really aware of what he's doing and stuff, and like quite eager to please, it seems. So like if you find something funny, he'll keep doing it. If he farts, he laughs afterward. Well, he doesn't laugh. Apparently he does laugh, but I haven't heard it. He's only laughed for his dad. But if he farts, he kind of smiles about it. What else? There's a few like things that he obviously finds quite funny and quite likes to like make you amused as well. Okay, so let's talk about feeding. So in the last update, the 2-month update, I talked about how we were trying his milk challenge, which is, so he's on lactose-free formula at the moment and Dr. Brown's bottles because he's a little bit colicky. Oh, does that start to leak? No. Yeah, he's on lactose-free formula at the moment. I was told by the doctors to do something called a milk challenge, which is where you try and put them back onto normal formula. Last month at 2 months it didn't go very well, so what you do is you do it a scoop at a time. So you do, like, he's on 6 ounces at the moment, so you do 5 scoops lactose free and 1 scoop normal formula. So we did that last time. We did a day of 1 scoop, he was fine. When we upped him to 2 scoops the second day, he started to get really, really irritable. So yeah, so I stopped doing it, went back to lactose-free formula, and was advised to do that for 6 months. However, recently I've been caught out a couple of times when I'm out, and I've had to just buy like the pre-made normal formula. So like on Sunday we went to IKEA, and the pots of formula that I brought, you know, like the little like compartment pots, it burst in my bag, so I didn't have any lactose-free formula. You can only get it in Boots, so I couldn't find a Boots where I was. I could find a Tesco, and they sold the like pre-made formula, so I just kind of kept him on that all day, and he was fine. So that kind of like made me think maybe it's time to like reintroduce normal formula. So we're currently on 1 scoop. Rich asked me to do like to integrate a scoop a week instead of a day, so we're still doing 1 scoop. So far he's been okay. It's kind of hard to judge, like, because he has had like 2 bouts of trap wind, which Rich was like, oh, it's the formula, but it wasn't. It was that he was put on his back too quickly after a feed. But he's been quite windy, like crying in like trap wind pains all week, so it's really hard to judge which one's which. So yeah, we're just like taking things quite slowly at the moment with the like formula integration. I did read a book which I talked about, my January favourites, called Calming Colic. So I started putting probiotics into his milk, which definitely helped him like with trap wind and stuff, so that's, you know, been a good one. I've also started using Detanox in his formula, which also kind of helps with this trap wind. But the one thing that like really, in my opinion, does help is gripe water, which is what I use like once he's in a real pickle, like with trap wind, like once it's really stuck and hurting his belly. So yeah, sleep wise, there isn't really that much like changed. He's still pretty good at sleeping through the night. He does normally sleep till 4 or 5 a.m. before he wakes up for a feed, if not all the way through. He has had a couple of times where he's woken up at 3 a.m. recently, which is kind of okay because he does only wake up once then goes back to sleep. But it has like knocked me a little bit. I don't know why. I think it's like it's less of a chunk of sleep, isn't it? So yeah, sleep wise he's still pretty good at night. He still sleeps in our bed. We've literally got rid of his bed altogether now, his co-sleeping crib, just because we had no plans of putting him in it. Like I just didn't see it happening, and I didn't have the you take your dum-dum. I just didn't have the stamina to do it, I don't think. And I quite like him in our bed. I'm just hoping when it comes to the time that he goes in the cot that he wants to do it, like he wants that independence. If not, I don't know. I have no plans when it comes to moving him back into his own bed at all, actually. I really like having him in the bed. Rich is a little bit on the fence about it, like he likes to sleep, but obviously he doesn't think it's a good long-term solution. Obviously it's not. Nap wise, he still really struggles to nap not on me, so I still have to hold him whenever he has a nap. He has had a couple of naps where he'll go like 2 hours, but I think he's really tired. He started doing this thing where at the start of the week he won't sleep at all, like he'll have really little naps, like 20 minutes here and there. And then by the end of the week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he'll just sleep for hours on me. But it means that I'm kind of stuck to the sofa with him. It used to really frustrate me because there were things that I could be doing, but I've just kind of accepted it now, that, you know, when he's a big boy I won't get the cuddles, so I might as well make the most of the whilst I'm on maternity leave and kind of offer him that comfort. So yeah, I've just kind of lined up lots of box sets on Netflix, and I'm like editing videos and stuff like that. Sleep routine, there really isn't one at all. There's a routine in the sense that he sleeps through the night. He needs to sleep until about 10ish in the morning. He needs a nap like every 1.5 to 2 hours. There's that kind of routine, but there isn't like a set at like 11 o'clock he must go down for a sleep, because it just doesn't work for us. I tried it quite recently. I tried doing the easy routine. But like I said, like he could wake up, have a feed, and I'll try and keep him awake for certain things. So like when we went to IKEA, I purposely kept him awake so he would sleep in the car on the way up. If we go to baby groups, which we do like most days as of next week, they're normally like 10 to 11, so he would normally have his sleep until 10. But obviously I need to wake him up to feed him, dress him, change him, all of that stuff. So, and then I try and keep him awake during the baby groups, and he has a sleep. You know, it's difficult to have a routine, so I haven't really forced it, and I don't think I will until I'm back at work and he goes to nursery. That's kind of when it makes sense that he has a more set routine, and I guess it will fall into place. And I think with weaning as well, that will make it fall into place too. So we shall see. 3 months, he had another set of jabs which were okay. He was a little bit, like he wasn't poorly afterwards, but he was a little bit pissed off, like just wanted to cuddle and stuff afterwards. So that was like a write-off day where we just cuddled. What else? Yeah, apparently he's giggling, but I haven't heard it yet. Like he only giggles for his dad. So I'm still yet to hear that one. Doesn't sit up, but he's got really, really impressive neck strength now. Like he's really good at holding his head up. He's trying to like make the motion to sit up. Like he'll pull himself forward if you're holding his hands. If you sit him up, he'll lean forward, but then obviously just topples over because he hasn't got that strength yet. So we've been using the Detanox teething gel. His favourite like I was gonna say chew toy, but that's what you'd say for dogs. His favourite teething toy is the Newbie Chewbie. That's kind of the only one that he grasps that makes any sense to him. We're using a lot of like black and white books at the moment, a lot of like crinkly toys to keep him occupied. He loves, I was gonna swear then, I've sworn in this video, but he loves Peppa Pig. I hate Peppa Pig with a passion. Having stepchildren, I've always hated Peppa Pig. I always vouched that my child would not watch Peppa Pig, but I saw like the babies like loved it. So put it on for him, and it does like buy you a lot of peace. Another thing that we really like is the Bright Starts Lagoon, which is like an activity gym, which it has lights in the canopy. He loves that, like really loves it. It buys me like 10 minutes to go and load the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher, or whichever way around. Regards to me, postpartum wise, I don't know why my cesarean scar has started to hurt a little bit, but I think that's because he's starting to sit on my belly and stuff more, and he like kicks about, so I think that's putting pressure on there. But emotionally wise, from my labour, so if this is the first video you've watched, I had quite a traumatic labour. You can see my labour and delivery story, which I will link below, I think. Yes, so emotionally, I'm doing a lot better. It doesn't upset me anymore. I don't really know why it upset me, if that makes sense. Like I can't put myself back into that emotional place. Obviously I know why it upset me, but like looking back, I don't feel the same at all. I am going to do some separate videos on like labour trauma and stuff like that. But yeah, emotionally I do feel well. Body wise, I feel really good. I think this is like the skinniest I've ever been, like apart from when I was a teenager, which is quite nice. Like, it sounds really big-headed, but you never really know, like when you're pregnant, how your body's going to recover from having like a child. So it feels quite good to know that things are okay, if that makes sense. Like I don't have to have that extra worry, because obviously when you've got a baby, there's enough on your mind. So I'm really grateful that I don't have to like feel self-conscious. Obviously tummy wise, there's stretch marks and stuff, but it's not that bad. Like I quite like them because there's some evidence that I had a baby. What else? I feel way more like confident with my decisions. I feel more organised, and I feel kind of more like I know what I am doing now, if that makes sense. I've always been really good at like just getting on with it and knowing what I'm doing, but I just kind of feel like there's some kind of routine and stuff now. What else? Social wise, we've been really good. Like I made a New Year's resolution that we were going to make some like friends and stuff. We've got out quite a lot, like met new people. I went to go and see Rachel, who is the illustrated teacup, and her baby Henry. We've gone to baby groups a lot more, made some friends who've showed us more baby groups. So yeah, I've done all of that. I was actually really naughty about baby group this morning because I forgot that I had to be somewhere. Can't even remember where it was now. So I couldn't go this week, but I'm definitely going like next week. But I really enjoyed it. Baby group wise, I was really anxious about it actually when I first went again, because my mum took me like a couple of weeks ago, then I missed 2 weeks because he had a cold and I didn't want to go with a cold. But yeah, so I was going to baby group and I was really nervous because I hadn't been for 2 weeks and I was going on my own and stuff. But luckily like a girl there was really nice, like got me talking to the other mums, they were really nice. I was also a bit nervous because like Rory is a lot younger than the other babies. They're all like 6 months, he's obviously 3 months, and they'd all been going since birth. So I did feel a bit like, not the odd one out, because they didn't make me feel that way at all. They made me feel really included. But I just felt like Rory was like a completely different, like they're all sat on their own and he was obviously still being held. But I am definitely going to carry on going because it's just good for me to have that like place to go, and it's quite nice just to get out and talk to like other people. That sounds so like, oh, I got out and talked to people. It's not like that at all. It just feels good to like be amongst like-minded people. But yeah, we've made some more friends and stuff, so that's nice. I sound like a child. But thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. We upload videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Sometimes they go a little bit off schedule, like they can go live on a Tuesday or a Thursday or something. We do try every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already, and please give this video a big thumbs up and stay tuned for his 4-month update soon.